A former NJPW star is headed to WWE NXT. Plus, we're going to talk about Zilla Fatu. Is he joining the WWE? And of course, we got to talk about WWE Bad Blood. It's all coming up right here on the Ango Show. All right, guys, don't forget, we go live Monday through Friday. We're back 12 p.m. Eastern every single day on the channel. We talk about Raw, SmackDown, NXT, Dynamite, everything that's happening in pro wrestling. We might fantasy book a little bit. Definitely don't miss the streams. They're incredibly fun, and I want to see you guys there. We're always engaging with the chat. I want to kick things off with Bad Blood, Cody Rhodes. I thought this was some really cool news because there was a clip that went viral. The University of Arkansas, their band was actually playing Cody Rhodes' theme song at a recent game, and it went viral, about a month or so ago. And basically, now what you need to know, just like anything can happen in the world of social media and pro wrestling, WWE is bringing them in. They actually just announced that the UAPB band will be appearing at WWE Bad Blood in Atlanta, Georgia on October 5th. And it sounds like they will be doing Cody Rhodes' entrance theme song for him, which is absolutely massive. Now, you guys might not be thinking this is a big deal, but you got to remember, this is WWE Bad Blood. This is not SummerSlam. This isn't an international stadium show. This isn't a stadium show at all. Like, this is literally WWE just doing a regular pay-per-view. It's a B-level pay-per-view, and they are already breaking some of the rules or some of the habits that they've done. We already know that there's going to be more than 5 matches on the card, and we already know that Cody Rhodes is going to be having a massive entrance. Now, why do I like this? Well, I think it's really important that WWE does every pay-per-view as an ultimate experience, right? So, we've heard in the past Nick Khan talk about WWE, and we've heard Mark Shapiro talk about WWE and some of their plans and how they want to do their events, eventually doing 2-night extravaganzas. And I think really in order for WWE to do that, they got to change the perception of their B-level pay-per-views, right? SummerSlam 2 nights, WrestleMania 2 nights, maybe even Royal Rumble or Survivor Series eventually becoming 2 nights could be part of the plan. But if you want to do that with your pay-per-views or your PLEs, I think if you're the WWE, one of the most important things that you got to do is change the perception of all of these other pay-per-views, right? So not only do you got to make them feel bigger and just way better than normal, but you got to go away from the idea that they look and feel like a standard television show. In the past year or so, WWE has done a really good job of booking their pay-per-views, but at the same time, too, I feel like some of those pay-per-views lack a little bit of that specialness that it could have. So, in the event of Bad Blood, a way to do that is by having special entrances for different people in the ring. Cody Rhodes is the perfect person for this, and I want to see WWE do more things like this more often. Let's talk about Zilla Fatu. Just the other day, it came out that Zilla Fatu will not be appearing at GCW anymore. They put out a release on Twitter on September 20th. This was 3 days ago. They said that Zilla Fatu will not be appearing on GCW in Philadelphia or any GCW shows for the foreseeable future. They said they tried their best to avoid the situation, but unfortunately, it just didn't work out. Therefore, Zilla Fatu was replaced, and we all know that Zilla Fatu is not on the show. And now Limitless Wrestling, another big indie company, has revealed that Zilla Fatu will be making his debut. So, why is there so much talk about Zilla Fatu being called off of GCW? Immediately, people thought that maybe Zilla Fatu would be joining the WWE, which is very reasonable, right? Zilla Fatu joining the Bloodline. A lot of people think at some point it's inevitable. It's probably going to happen, which I 1000% understand, and I do want to see that happen. However, for some reason, it seems like with Zilla Fatu, there appears to be situations where he should be on a show, then he gets taken off the show. Reality of wrestling, it kind of happened at the same thing. Then eventually he came back. Nobody really knows the certainty with what he's got going on. Zilla Fatu is an up-and-comer. He's making a name known for himself. Obviously ties to the Bloodline. He's got his family in the WWE. A lot of people want to see him in the WWE. Will we see him in the WWE? Why haven't we seen him in the WWE? That appears to be the big question. So, why haven't we seen Zilla Fatu in the WWE, ladies and gentlemen? I think this really has a lot to do with the fact that maybe he's not as experienced, right? He's getting his experience. I think a lot of this might have to be with some, behind the scenes stuff. I also think for Zilla Fatu in his current situation, he needs to be getting his reps in. This kid's talented. He's got a lot of potential. There's a lot of great things he can do. But in order for it to happen, you just simply got to do it. As far as GCW goes, it's not the worst relationship to break up, right? I would also go as far as saying for WWE, you should be monitoring these types of things, right? What kind of person are you signing? Not only should they be having good matches, but I think you got to look at character. I'm not talking about wrestling persona. I'm talking about like actual character, as in who they are as a human being. I'm not passing judgment on Zilla Fatu. Clearly, something happened where it didn't work out with him in GCW. A lot of people think this could be a stepping stone for him going to WWE. I know this is going to sound crazy, and it's not the most popular opinion here. I would take Zilla Fatu to NXT, and I would push him in a different way. I wouldn't be bringing him into the Bloodline. The Bloodline stuff is already messy. There's already too much stuff going on there. But if I were WWE, that's what I would do. Speaking of the Bloodline, Hicko is not joining the Bloodline. Well, this is where things get really chaotic and weird and interesting. We found out that he signed with WWE in July. Everybody was wondering, okay, when is he going to debut as part of the Bloodline? Because that's what people were expecting. Now, since the report, there's been speculation that he would be part of the storyline with, God. And we know that he is the half-brother of Tama Tonga. We know he is the adopted son of Haku. So obviously it makes a lot of sense that we would speculate that, right? Now, PWInsider.com has actually reported that Hicko is listed internally on WWE's NXT roster. That's weird, because Tonga Loa, Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, they were all straight to the main roster. Now, some people think Hicko is inexperienced. Very big possibility that is true, right? Like, I think he's pretty solid. He's a tall guy. The way I look at Hicko, I'm not looking at him coming in doing frog splashes and 450 splashes in Canadian Destroyers. I look at him as a guy to come in, be the big muscle, and let him just, do his thing. WWE has decided not to put him on the main roster. Are they sending him to NXT to get training before going to the main roster? Are they sending him to NXT to create his own vision and to have his own character that is separate from the Bloodline? Just as I said with Zilla Fatu, there's already so much going on with the Bloodline that I don't think it is necessary, and I don't think it is needed. It makes a lot of sense for him to be part of the Bloodline 2.0, but I understand why if they choose not to do that. Also, not a bad idea for him to go to NXT, let him get his reps in, maybe have some big feuds, maybe even get a championship run if it looks like on paper and in reality it's good enough. Let him get a run. But if you're going to go that route, then you got to keep him separate from the Bloodline on the main roster. I don't know what I think. Honestly, there's a lot of things that could be good or bad with this. Only time will tell. But I want to know what you guys think down below. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Ango Show.